Hi my dear students, welcome back to a new session. In the last class we already learned regarding DNA is a genetic information and the main characteristic features of DNA and RNA world also you had learned in the last class. So today class I am going to start with a replication. A replication of genetic information. Here genetic information is DNA and as well as RNA, but in NCERT book they given only a replication of DNA information is given, right? Topic is a replication of DNA. In a cell only DNA molecules are capable for self duplication. So that's why the DNA molecules also called as living molecules. Due to presence of these living molecules, all living beings or living cells are going to produce new cells, right? And there is no organism it get doubled without a doubling of DNA. And DNA information is get doubled during the cell cycle of S phase. If this double information is not get separated, then what happen? The cell is become as polyploidy. Let's write some information. Here in a cell, the DNA molecule has the capacity to self duplicate. So that's why the DNA molecule is called as, so it is called as living molecule. All living cells are living things, all living organisms and their cells they produce daughter cells are nothing but reproduce daughter cells because due to the presence of this character, living molecule character, nothing but DNA, right? And the DNA information is get double, it is duplicated during cell cycle. During the cell cycle, you know that in which phase the DNA is going to get double? S phase, right? Next, if this information which information during the cell cycle 2C is become as 4C, DNA content is get doubled. If information is not get separated, what happen? The cell is become as polyploidy. The cell is become as what? Polyploidy, right? Next, here when the DNA structure is proposed by the Watson and Crick. After proposing of double helix structure of the DNA, Watson and Crick immediately they proposed that scheme of replication of genetic material. It has no escape from our notice where we proposed a special base pairing. Then immediately they suggested that the chances is there the copying of method, the copying of mechanism in genetic material. So this is lines is given by Watson and Crick. Here after proposing of double helix structure of DNA by Watson and Crick. At the time 1953, then they immediately proposed that the scheme of a replication mechanism of genetic material. The standard lines of Watson-Crick, the given, it has not escaped from our notice, where we proposed or postulated specific base pairs. Then immediately they proposed the possibility of the possible copying mechanism in genetic material, right? So this is actually the standard lines is given. These lines are given by Watson-Crick, right? Let's see how it is. What is a copying mechanism of DNA replication? Nothing but what? Replication of DNA. The definition is the DNA molecule which produce identical copies. Nothing but daughter strands are produced, right? So such process is described as DNA replication. It is called DNA replication. Right? So during this process what happened? You know that at the beginning, just in the schematic representation, the DNA, at the beginning it is what? Double stranded DNA, DNA, double stranded DNA. So to produce identical copies, the double stranded DNA should be become as single stranded DNA. The DNA is become as single stranded DNA. Then what happened? Two templates are formed. The two strands are act as a two templates to producing two identical daughter cells. So these two templates, on these two templates, two new strands are formed. Right? Let's say here in this double stranded DNA is become as single stranded DNA. Double stranded DNA become as single stranded DNA. Like it is double helix structure of DNA. Now it is become as like single stranded DNA is formed. Okay. For example, here one adenosine A, T, G, C is there, and here also we what present A is going to bind with thymine. Here adenosine, cytosine, and guanosine. This is bond. Now these two strands are which is act as what? Template. Now these two strands are get separated like. Now what happened? This is an open stretch. Now on that again one nucleotides are going to pair on this strand, and as usual here also be one nucleotides are going to pair on this strand. Now it is A is going to bind with thymine, here also A, and here C, and here G, like so. This is one daughter DNA. And here also, here A, T, G, C. So this is second daughter DNA molecules, like it is formed. After completion of this process, here if you notice each daughter molecules, here this strand is what? Old strand, mother strand DNA. And this strand is what? Newly synthesized strand, right? So this daughter DNA, it is a combination of one old strand and one new strand. So it means here, so this process is known as semi-conservative method. Means only half of the information is newly synthesized and half of the information is transferred from parent. So that's why this type of mechanism we can call as semi-conservative mechanism, right? Here, after replication of DNA, the daughter DNAs are consist one old strand and one new strand. So such mechanism is called as what? Such type of replication is called as semi-conservative mechanism. So DNA replication mechanism is what? Semi-conservative mechanism. It means half of the information is mother, transfer from the mother, and half of the information is newly synthesized strand, right? Now such daughter molecules we can call as what? It is called as hybrid. Okay, so which is proposed by Watson-Crick. Semi-conservative method which is proposed by Watson and Crick. It was first shown in prokaryotic cells. The first experimental evidence for semi-conservative method which is provided by Michelson and Stahl. So later in higher organisms like higher plants and animals also recognized that the DNA replication method is semi-conservative method, right? What you have to write first point? Semi-conservative method which is first proposed by Watson-Crick, right, in the 1953. The same year they proposed the DNA double helix structure. Next, it was first shown in prokaryotic cell, that is E. coli, Escherichia coli bacteria, E. coli cell. And the experimental evidence for this semi-conservative method which is first given by Michelson and Stahl. These two scientists are first with the experimental evidence in the 1958, right? And later subsequently they are noticed in higher plants and as well as animal cells. And here the first in higher plant, Taylor, T-A-Y-L-O-R, Taylor is the first scientist. He was noticed that DNA replication method is a semi-conservative method, and is conducted experiments in a Vicia faba plant. It is belong to Fabaceae family. It is a beans family or Fabaceae family, right? Now we have to focus here experimental evidence by Michelson and Stahl, right? What he did, simple. So you know that already how the DNA is constructed. The DNA is constructed by phosphate, nitrogen bases and sugar. Here what he did, he's choosed the E. coli bacteria are cultured under N15 isotope medium. N15 is a heavy isotope. Now this N15 is which is useful or incorporated into construction of DNA. Then after the first generation, they notice that E. coli cell is get doubled and the doubled daughter cell DNA is N15 isotope containing DNAs are formed. Later, this N15 DNA containing E. coli cells and again cultured on N14 medium. Here, why they used N14 as well as N15? Because the reason is N15 is a heavy isotope. It is not a radioactive isotope. It is only heavy isotope. For that, it is easily distinguished with the N14. Right? So that's why they used N15 and N14. Okay. Now this N15 bacteria is growing on N14 medium. They notice first generation, second generation and third generation. So the DNA replication mechanism is semi-conservative or not. Let's check it. Here experimental evidence by Messelson and Stahl. Messelson and Stahl. Right? They conducted the experiment in first E. coli cell. E. coli cell 1958. First what they did, this bacteria are E. coli is culture on which medium? NH4Cl N15 minus nitrogen 15. Heavy isotope. In that medium the bacteria is cultured. Now this N15 which is incorporated or which is involving in construction of DNA. Okay. The question is why they are using N15? Because it is a heavy isotope and we can easily distinguishable from N14. N14 is a normal nitrogen which is present, normal nitrogen which is useful to construction of DNA, right? Next, now this N15 containing DNA containing bacteria which are added on or grown on N14 medium. N14 medium, right? Then they observed several generations they are observed. The E. coli it can get double in every 20 minutes. Okay. Now the E. coli is grown on after for example this is one DNA. After 20 minutes 2 DNAs are formed, and after 40 minutes 4 DNAs are formed, and after 60 minutes 8 DNA molecules are formed. Like they observed several generations of the DNA they observed. Okay. Let's say for example when they are adding of N15 medium, so this is the DNA is formed, which is what? Which is heavy isotope with the N15. It is also be N15. How we gain this N15? When we normal E. coli cells are dropped on or grow on N15 medium. So that N15 medium containing nitrogens are useful to construction of DNA. Later, by using of centrifugation technique, centrifugal technique, we are isolated or we are separated. So this DNA strand, right? Now this DNA which is added or which grown on N14 medium. Now this is a medium. The medium is containing, now it is only N14s are available, N15s are not available. Then what happened? They notice that here as usual they get first there this double stranded DNA is going to get separated, like one heavy N15, here also one heavy 115 formed, right? Now what happened? Now based on this strand containing nitrogen base pairs, complementary strands are going to form. Here already nitrogen's base are present in the medium, such N15s are going to added here and here also, right? Now one DNA strand is N15 and another DNA strand nitrogen bases are what? N14. Here also be N14 strands they are noticed. After first generation, it means after 20 minutes, right? Next, again they observed, again after second generation. In second generation what happened? Again these two strands are again get separated. It is heavy strand and here one light strand and here one light strand and here one heavy strand, right? So this is what? N15 and this is N15. It is N14, it is N14. Okay. Now same on the medium, only N14 mediums, N14 nitrogen base pairs are available. What happened? Now this N14 are going to base pair here to become as here one DNA, and here are going to add to become as one DNA, like 3 and 4 DNA molecules are formed. Okay, right? Now this DNA is what? Combination of N15 and N14. It is N14 and again N14. It is also be N14, and here one is N14 and one N15, right? Now in the first generation as well as second generation, just compare. In the first generation all are hybrids. It means combination of, every strand is a combination of N14 and N15, right? Semi means what? Half of the information is conserved, half of the information is newly formed. It is proved it is a semi-conserved method. In second generation what happened? In second generation what happened? First and second point. In second generation, out of 4 DNA molecules are formed. Out of 4 DNA molecules, first one and fourth one is hybrids are formed, and these two are light isotopes are formed, normal, right? It means what I have to write? 50% of DNA molecules are hybrids are formed, which are containing N14 and N15, right? And remaining 50% of DNA molecules are containing light chains. They are containing only N14 and N14, like 2 strands are formed, right? Here, so this information is, these 2 strands are act as a template. Here this strand and here this is a mother strand. Later only N14 is added. And here also it is going to very clear, only half of the information is transferred to the next generation and half of the information is newly synthesized. So it is experimentally proved that the DNA replication is a semi-conservative method. Like what we have to do? After third generation, what the number of hybrid DNA molecules are formed? and what the number of normal DNA which is containing N14 light strand DNAs are formed. That you have to do and send it. Okay. Next, subsequently you have to do one more also. After fourth generation, what we have to show? What we have to write? After third and fourth generation, what the number of hybrid DNA molecules are formed, and what the number of normal DNA which is containing N14 and N14 strands are formed. Their percentage we have to write and send it. Okay. Next here the key points what you have to remind in this here. First, sir, how you know that? So this DNA strand is N14, this DNA strand is N15. Here, by using of centrifugation technique. Okay, by using of centrifugation technique, we can separate the DNA strands according to their weight. In centrifugation technique means what? It going to move away the parts from the center of the cell. Then what happen here? At the bottom, which is heavy weight, they are going to settle at the bottom. Okay, it is N15 should be settled at the bottom, and which is light weighted, they are going to settle little more top. So it is N14. Right? At the beginning, why he is used N15? Because of this only. Because N15 it have high mass as well as high density. High mass and high density. And here, due to that, what happened during the centrifugation force here, high mass and high density molecules, they have great gravity or gravitational force. So heavy molecule will going to settle earlier at the bottom of the tube. Then light molecules on here, like it is going to form. Right? And second point here, it is N15 is not a radioactive isotope. Right? Next, here the DNAs are separated according to the density of nitrogen in cesium chloride, CsCl2 medium. Right? So these points you have to you have to remind in our minds. Okay. So this is actually the first time they are showing that in prokaryotic cells the DNA replication mechanism is semi-conservative. The latter, Taylor, 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 he was also proved by, he is that radioactive thymine is used to prove that DNA replication is a semi-conservative method. He is successfully proved in Vicia faba plant. Okay. So this is actually information regarding semi-conservative method. Mechanism of replication of the DNA. For any biochemical reactions in the cell, it required enzymes. Without enzymes, there is no biochemical reaction in the cell. So it means for replication of DNA also, enzymes are needed, right? For the heading, mechanism of replication, DNA replication with involvement of enzymes, machinery enzymes, right? Here for our better understanding purpose, I divided into three parts, three subheadings like first, initiation, elongation and terminization. Initiation, when the DNA is going to get doubled. First here, like DNA is what? Double helix structure, like double helix structure is there. Now what happened? Now this double helical structure should be become as single stranded. So then only these two are act as template, then on template nitrogen bases are come together to form polynucleotide and become as one daughter DNA, right? So first step is what? Double stranded DNA is become as single stranded. It is also called as winding DNA is become as unwinding DNA. Okay, generally for this purpose also needed one enzyme, that is helicase enzyme or unwindase enzyme. Okay, in the presence of unwindase enzyme or helicase enzyme, DNA, double helix DNA is become as single stranded, right? Next, such is called as melting of DNA. Such is called as what? Melting of DNA. Melting is generally occurred at a weak hydrogen bonds. It means A to T. Next, due to this melting, the DNA is become as Y-shaped fork is formed. That is called as a replication fork, right? Then in the last class we discussed like a Griffith. After heating, double stranded become a single stranded. In the normal temperature, single strand become as again double stranded. Then the chances is there, these two open DNA strands, then it can immediately they are going to get a double strand, right? So for that purpose here in the cell, SSB, single standing binding proteins are occurred. It is going to prevent the again winding of this DNA till replication is completed, right? So this is actually initiation. Let's write. The first step is initiation and second step is elongation and third step is terminization, right? In initiation, the first step is what? Double stranded DNA, dsDNA, it should be become as ssDNA, single stranded DNA. It means winding DNA should become as unwinding DNA, right? It means here this is a double helix DNA. It should be become as like this, straight lines form. So then only two strands act as template. Then only the possibility is there to add new nucleotides on template, right? This is actually scheme. And here the replication is always start. Just recall the biotechnology lesson. Here the special sequence, the special unique sequence are there, such are called as what? Ori site. Replication is always start with one unique specific site, such are called as what? Ori site. First. Next, so this replication is always begin with the weak bonds, weak hydrogen bonds, such are what? A to T. Why? Because it requires less energy to break down of triple bond of GC. Here minimum energy is required, so that's why it is start from weak bond only. Now double stranded become as single stranded, such is called as melting. Such is called as what? Melting. Due to the melting, the DNA is look like as Y-shaped fork is formed. Now it is called as replication fork. Right? Next. So this is actually initiation. Then I said now, then DNA is a dynamic wonder molecules. It can two functions, denaturation and renaturation. Now what happened? Denaturation is occurred and chances is there for renaturation also. So here for that SSB protein, single standard binding proteins are occurred which are going to prevent the windage till replication is completed, right? So this is what regarding initiation. Next step is elongation. So in this elongation what happened? Now you consider like so Y-shaped fork is formed, like Y-shaped fork is formed. Now during the elongation process, elongation is always occurred at 3' only, because only 3' is containing free OH molecule that is highly reactive. So that's why elongation is always occurred at a 3' stand only with the help of RNA primer. After adding of RNA primer at 3' end, then later adding of nucleotides with help of DNA polymerase enzyme, right? So this is a synthesis of DNA on DNA. So that's why it is called as what? DNA dependent DNA synthesis with the help of DNA polymerase enzyme, right? Got the point, right? Write the points. Elongation. Elongation is always start from 3' end only. Why? Because the 3' is containing free OH minus molecules which are charged and reactive molecules. These OH groups are highly reactive. So that's why elongation is always taught at 3' only. At the beginning, elongation is initiated by adding of one short primer, that is RNA primer. One is oligonucleotides, one short oligonucleotide sequence, that is RNA primer, where it is added at the 3' end it is added. Then later what happened? Later DNA polymerase enzyme, it can play a great role in DNA replication. Without a DNA polymerase enzyme, there is no polymerization, there is no chance for formation of new DNA strands at all, right? Now this DNA polymerase enzyme, it is going to polymerize the strand. It means it going to add new nucleotides on template strand. Okay, right? Let's see, for example, this is Y-shaped fork is formed, replication fork. Okay, for unwindage purpose we used some enzyme, that one is helicase enzyme or unwindase enzyme. Helicase enzyme activity start here, then it become towards like this. So that's why this stretching is formed, right? And here this is 5', this is 3' direction. Then it should be 3' and 5'. And you know that 5' is containing one phosphate group here, 3' is containing third carbon of sugar, it is containing one free OH molecule. So this is highly reactive. So that's why primer is, for example, here A, T, G is there, and here it going to bond with one primer. First primer is going to added here. This is a RNA primer. right? After adding of RNA primer, what happened here? This is the DNA polymerase enzyme. DNA polymerase, P means polymerase enzyme is added. Now it's going to move towards like, when it's going to move towards, it's going to adding of complementary nitrogen bases to the template stand to form one long stand, right? So it means, what is the raw material here? The raw material is deoxyribonucleoside triphosphates. Deoxyribonucleotide triphosphate. It means DNTPs. These are deoxyribonucleoside. Again is added phosphate. So what happened? It is an example of nucleotide, right? These are like a deoxyadenosine triphosphate, deoxyguanine triphosphate, deoxycytosine triphosphate, and deoxythioamine triphosphate. Like these are present. These are freely present in the nucleoplasm. Now these are going to added on this template with the help of DNA polymerase enzyme. The question is here, for this some amount of energy is required. In the cell, mitochondria is there. So for replication of DNA, some amount of energy is required. It may depend upon mitochondria. No, it is not depend upon mitochondria releasing ATP energy, because here deoxyadenosine triphosphates, it means here this is a one phosphate, this is a one phosphate, this is a one phosphate, 3 phosphates and one sugar, and here one nitrogen base. This is actually structure, right? This deoxyribonucleoside triphosphate, they can play a dual role. One is supplying of energy, and second one, it is also act as substrate to the elongation of the DNA. Now here these two strands, these two phosphates having high amount of energy. Now they are going to broken to form nucleotide. So these two phosphates are released. Then what happened? High amount of energy is released, right? You discuss where you discuss in respiration, ATP, adenosine triphosphate, third phosphate is containing more amount of energy which is released during the hydrolysis of ATP, right? Now same thing is happen here. This releasing energy is enough to catalyze this reaction. So that's why it is not depend upon any other energy source, right? Next, second, it is also act as substrate. Now these two bonds are released. Now what happened? Only one phosphate and one sugar and one nitrogen base pair. It may, for example, adenine. Now it is become as what? One nucleotide. So this adenine, this complete nucleotide, it is going to bind. If it is, here T is there, now it is going to add. A is going to add here with the help of DNA polymerase enzyme, right? So this is called as what? Elongation process. Here elongation is always start on 3' template. The direction of elongation is what? 5' to 3', very important, right? Elongation is direction is always 5' to 3', right? On which stand? On 3 dash stand. Okay, so this is actually called as what? Elongation. Now first one daughter DNA molecule is formed. This is one daughter DNA, right? Now here the first formation of this stand is called as leading stand. The first formation of stand, this one is called as what? Leading stand. Okay, then second stand, elongation. So first time elongation of DNA is occurred on 3 dash to on 3 dash here, and second time elongation again on this template. Elongation is start from here, and again here first, again RNA primers will be had here. Later what happen? Again DNA polymerase enzyme will be add. It is a one short sequence. Okay, RNA primer. Next, here this is DNA polymerase enzyme, right? Now what happen? It going to elongated. Like the second formation of stand is like discontinuous strands are formed. The question is what here? In the first formation of stand is a continuous strand, such is called as a leading strand, and second formation of stand on second template, that is not continuous, that is a discontinuous strand. So such fragments is called as Okazaki fragments. Okazaki fragments, right? Write the point. The first formation of stand is continuous stand. So it is called as what? Leading stand, right? And the second time formation of stand, it is discontinuous stand, such is called as hanging stand, is called as lagging stand. It is called as what? Lagging stand. The question is here, sir, why here continuous stand is formed and why in that case fragments are formed? Because the DNA is here, one stand DNA is anti-parallel strands. Here the polymerization, it is very easy for DNA polymerization. DNA polymerase enzyme polymerization is very easy on this direction. On such a direction, what? It is opposite stand now. So it have to move or it have to run in opposite direction because it is an anti-parallel stand. So that's why it is periodically stop and run. It's not going to continuously run, it's going to stop and run. So that's why what happened? Fragments are formed. So before that, in the 1960, before that, all scientists are believed that two strands are the continuous strand. But after 1960, Okazaki is one Japanese scientist. He has proposed that the second strand is not a continuous strand, it is a discontinuous strand. Okay, his name is what? Okazaki. So by the name of the scientist, they are called as Okazaki fragments. Okay, then after formation of this fragment, to cure this fragment, to join to this fragment, ligase enzyme is added. This is what? Ligase enzyme, which is useful to pasting, like biotechnology knowledge. These fragments are jointed by ligase enzyme. and again lateral form continuous. Okay, so this is actually DNA replications. So one is continuous strand is called as a leading strand, one is discontinuous strand, it is called as lagging strand. If the question is what is the polymerization of DNA polymerase enzyme, DNA polymerase enzyme. What is our polymerization? Polymerization is always what? 5' to 3' only, of leading as well as lagging also. Lagging strand also be 5' to 3'. Just check it once here. It is 5' now, it going to towards 3'. Again DNA polymerization not started here, it is started here. So it is again become as 5' to opposite strand 3'. It means two strands direction is what? Polymerization is 5' to 3' only. Okay, so in that way DNA is going to get replicated, and here half information is what? Mother. Half information is new. Here also half information new, half information is new, half information is mother, right? So this is actually information regarding DNA replication. One small difference in between eukaryotic DNA replication to prokaryotic DNA replication, just 2 or 3 points. First point here, in prokaryotic cells, for example E. coli, in E. coli 4.6 into 10 to the power of 6 base pairs are present, right? So to complete the replication here 2000 base pairs are attached in 1 second. It means approximately 30, 80 to 48 minutes are needed to complete the replication. So here what I have to tell here, in prokaryotic the formation of leading strand, lagging strand is very fast if you compare with the eukaryotic cells. If you compare with eukaryotic cell, this is the one difference. And second one is here, this is a Ori site now. One specific site is such as a Ori site. Replicons we can call replicons. In eukaryotic cells, number of replicons, number of Ori sites are present. But in prokaryotic cells, few or like 4 or 6 like Ori sites are present. The point what I have write? Few Ori sites in prokaryotic, and more number of Ori sites in eukaryotic cells, right? So this is elongation. Next, terminization. So when this activity is stopped, when helicase enzyme activity is stopped, then unwinding is stopped, then the DNA not going to become as template, right? And here complete amount of DNA, the 2.2 meters of DNA, it is not going to open at a time because it's required more amount of energy. So that's why little amount, small amount is going to open, right? So this is regarding DNA replication. Thank you all of you.